Welcome to Sound Engineering for Audiophiles, proudly brought to you by Showhouse Academy. Kamala Musandile Ngubane, aka TKO, and I'm going to be a facilitator for today's lesson. Today we're going to look at the basics of sound, or the nature of sound, how sound is created, and how sound behaves. Kubaluleke ngani ke ukwazi ukuthi isound ikhandeka kanjani nokuthi iphila kanjani or iziphatha kanjani. Kubaluleke ngokuthi iyona information lena ezosisiza later on uma sesimanipulator isound. Uma uzwa umuntu ethi nyusa ivolume, what does that mean? Umuntu methi uyosebenzisa equalizer, what are you actually doing to sound? Or ma compressor, or ma reverb, or any other effect. So before you can control sound, it is important to understand ukuthi isound iyini and ibehave kanjani, ngoba kunzima ukumanipulator or ukucontroller into ongayazi. So ake sibheke isound ukuthi iyini, uyini umsindo. Phecelezi, sound is created by a vibrating object. So you need two things. You need a vibrating object, which is the source, and then you need a medium through which sound can travel. A source of vibration, it could be your hands, and in this particular instance, it could be my vocal cords. Other forms of vibrating objects could be a spinning engine, kungaba umsindo wemoto mehamba emgwaqeni, umsindo webhanoyi, umsindo we-object ewayo, uma khona into ewayo ishayeka phansi on the floor. All those things are examples of sources of sound. And then the medium, kuba basically medium njenge vehicle through which something can travel. Shuthi, for instance, njengomoya. Umoya is one form of medium. So sound was traveler through umoya, gases, solid objects like hard surfaces, naguma liquids. All right. So, uma se vibratile i-object, okwamanje nje ake sithathe my vocal cords njengoba ngikhuluma. What they are doing is they are vibrating. I'm putting pressure on them, and then they vibrate. And as they vibrate, they cause the air particles around my mouth and around my throat to move back and forth. And as those air particles move back and forth, they create areas of high compression and low compression. And the areas of high compression, obviously they are called compression. And the areas of low compression, they are called rarefaction. As this compression and rarefaction occurs, ilokhu pinda over and over, about 20 times per second, then we can perceive something that we call sound. Right. Okunye kokubalekile lana is that lama air particles, as they move backwards and forwards, our traveli ahambe ne sound azayofika la sound izophelela khona. Wona amandawone basically. So anjenge elastic or like a spring. Ayadistebheka amuve aye phambili bese eyabuyela la kade khona bese yahlehla in the opposite direction, and then they come back to where they were, and then they move forward again back to the point of rest bese ebuyele emumva. So it's like a spring. Right. Any example look demonstrates ukuthi ama air particles awahambi wona, but ayadistebhana is when mawubuka mawuthatha ibhola elifloatayo, ibhola elifakwe umoya, ulibeka olwandle or emanzini anyakazayo. Ibhola lima ndawone, but ama waves as amanzi lokho enyakaza afika lidisturb lelo bhola linyuke. That's area of high compression. Bese i-wave yadlula bese liyehla ibhola lidiphe liyezansi, that's area of low compression. And that high down, up and down movement of the ball, that represents what happens ngesikhathi kwakheka lento ekuthiwa i-vibration. So it's important to know that air particles don't move forward. Alright. Kenzeka ke mawubeka isandla phambi kwespeaker uzwe ngazuthi kunomoya and the air particles are moving. Lento, it's an illusion that makes it sound or makes it feel like the air particles are moving away from the speaker, but in actual fact they move forward and backward, back and forward. Arresta kodwa la where they started. That is the nature of sound. Okunye okubalekile ke about ama waves is there are two types of waves. Awokuqala longitudinal waves, where the wave is in the same direction of motion with the actual material layer, a source of sound. And amanye is transverse waves, where the movement of the wave is at 90 degrees or perpendicular to the object of with the object of disturbance. A good example of transverse wave is when you drop itshe emanzini. That type of wave eyenzakala emanzini, it's called a transverse wave. And it's also a representation of what happens with sound in the digital circuits. Uma sound see voltage in your mixer and stuff, that's how it behaves. But generally speaking, in the real world, sound behavior the same way. If you were to take khona leli toys lengane ejwayele ukudlala ngalo ekuthiwa islinky, all right, islinky mawudlala ngaso lokhu pusha back and forth, that kind of vibration is actually how sound behaves in air. But umehluko ukuthi ke in air it has to emanate in all directions. All right, okwamanje ke asekisebambe lapho. Next up sizokhuluma ngani ngama principles of sound, which includes frequency, wavelength, amplitude, and speed of sound. Goodbye for now.